Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 114, we're going to go ahead and talk about the interesting sport of, I guess it's weed eater drag racing. I don't know
Wait,
what
Uh,
no,
It's it's no, they're the garden tillers, aren't they?
yeah, it was. I didn't know what it was. Was it like a garden tiller or something like that, or weed eater or whatever it was.
Something
And
like that. Yeah.
yeah, they set these things up they look like funny cars, but like really small, and they use them to race down the speedway or grassway.
I mean, much like the two overly obese people trying to screw the whole writing of a weed eater had me confused.
Well, yeah, I just
This is why I'm here to try to translate and clarify exactly what it is that David is saying.
thank God that I
Because like
left
on an
the
emotional level, we know what he means. It's up to
Yeah,
us to provide you, the dear listener, with a running translation
yeah.
so that you can follow along with all the reindeer games as well.
I'm just glad that I left the secret decoder ring with Chris. I mean, he
Right.
figured out fast. He's like, hold on, I got this. I got this shit. We're okay. Yeah. I know what he meant. I got it. It only took. I'm fluent in Dave. So
Yeah. So there was another 2-game series that they held in London for baseball. It was between the Cubs and the Cardinals. Um, I'm all for these London games. I mean, I think they're kind of cool. Maybe start the season off that way. Uh, something like that. But here's my thing: 4 artifacts, like they call them artifacts, from those games are on their way to Cooperstown to be enshrined forever. And I'm just like, why? I mean, I can understand the Yankees and Red Sox series, because they were the first ones to play over there.
yeah,
But it's just the whole. All right, we've kind of been there, done that thing. Uh, they're not having a Field of Dreams game this year, which I think is a complete mess. But they are playing a game at one of the oldest ballparks in the country that used to host a Negro League team. So I think that's going to be kind of
say that shit.
do what?
It's what they were.
Well, I understand that.
That's what it was
No,
called.
let me clarify.
Negro.
That is what the league was called.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You think I'm out here being overtly or openly racist?
No. I know you're not. That's the thing. I know you're not.
I mean, it's frowned upon now, but that
Yeah.
was what it was called.
Okay, so for those of you in our listening audience that might have just a little bit more than a sensitive ear, the historically accurate term or name for the league upon which African Americans exclusively played was called the Negro Leagues. So I mean, that's where we had people for like Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige came from. So baseball finally got their act together and recognized the stats that were compiled from the Negro Leagues, and they are being they're being cataloged in Cooperstown as we speak. So,
You love to see it.
yeah, so I would have loved to have been able to, to be able to travel back in time, not for any kind of personal gain or anything like that, financially, anyways, but just to be able to go to some of these old ballparks and witness some of these games firsthand. Just simply for the love of the game itself, and it's because we all know that gambling is frowned upon in baseball.
What? That never
You have to get
happens. Who
caught.
does that?
I mean, it's not like we're looking at the 1919 White Sox. I mean, who does that?
No, come on.
I mean, to the 1919 White Sox, or the Black Sox, as they're affectionately known, to their credit, more specifically, Shoeless Joe Jackson, he didn't throw those games. You don't bat the way that you bat. You don't perform defensively the way that you're supposed to in a World Series like that if you're on the take. So, I mean, he just took their money and just said, "Screw it, I'm stashing this money away," and it ultimately ended up costing him his career. But all that aside, only NFL news that we remotely have is let me see here.
There's one I found. Jordan Pyre canceled charity golf event due to backlash over location at Donald Trump's course.
Oh,
Bill safety. Buffalo Bill safety
class courses or anything. Why would we want to use those?
Yeah, no. But he his annual charity event Saturday. What?
Yeah, this is a win for everybody. Instead of going to an exclusive country club, let's go to a public course where greenskeepers don't aerate the greens on a regular basis. They don't know how to, they don't know how to change pin positions without screwing up the greens. And they're missing half the sand bunker rakes. Yeah, and we can put that on TV.
We'll just call that hard mode.
Yeah, or let's do like this guy on TikTok where he kidnaps his friends and they drive cross country to play the worst courses in the country.
I saw that.
We can call it the Yelp series.
They kept, he it wasn't until the last minute. They're like, wait a minute, why are we pulling in here? He's like, this is where we're playing. He's like, no, why are we here? Yeah, this is where we're playing. Just the look of shock and dread on his face was classic.
I mean, because one, you're given some like 9-hole par 3 course, some props in the national spotlight.
Right?
You're gonna make some absolute duffers feel completely good about themselves. Like, yeah, man, I told you I shot a 78. It was far on that course, 54.
Vindication.
Right? Like, I played the best round of my life. Yeah, what'd you shoot? 78. Oh yeah, okay. What's far? 54. That, I mean, it's like back in the day, like somebody gets drafted into the NFL, they're out at the nightclub. Yeah, I'm an NFL player. Like, yeah, who do you play for? Cleveland Browns. Who?
That's
Cleveland Browns.
That's still a team. They're still around.
Yeah.
Right. NASCAR news. Ross Chastain. God, I don't like that guy, but Ross Chastain, he won this weekend at Nashville.
Did he try to kill anybody in order to get there?
Huh?
I said, did he try to kill anybody in order to get there?
I don't know. I didn't watch it, honestly. Next weekend's going to be the Chicago Street Race weekend.
God, I can't wait for that.
That'd be
one.
the interesting one.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one.
Death toll on that one either.
Yeah.
And not for the drivers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be more of a life or death situation for the pit crew members.
I still say that we should allow a Twisted Metal / Death Race 2000 kind of thing and just let the drivers shoot back. I still say you want to drive ratings. That's what you need to do.
I'm totally all for that. That's what I hope to see.
Come on.
Can you imagine the round drift? A 9mm round coming out of the passenger side window of a car going 120 miles an hour down Lake Park Drive.
You can finally have that wanted shot.
Right, yeah, the wanted shot, yeah.
You can
curve the bullet.
I'm just saying, you give them bonus points for accuracy. That would make the race. That would make the race for the cup way more. The playoffs would be more.
And you can automatically declare a victory in the race if you can knock the churro out of the toddler's hand without giving them any kind of skin abrasions.
Yeah. The closer to the knuckle, the more points you get.
Right.
Oh man.
Jesus.
That's too far. That's where the line is now.
No, that's not where the
That's
line
where
is.
we've offended you, David.
I picture that
Or
shit.
you can
It was
upset
like,
you can upset
that.
every lesbian in the city of Chicago by bouncing one off the beam. There, people. He went.
Listen. If that happens, you just give him the cup right there. Just you win. Everybody else is fighting for second place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at that point, yeah, you might as well. Gentlemen, we are 2 months away from the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 at Texas Motor Speedway on September 24th.
Dude, that is marked on my calendar in red, white, and blue.
Oh, it's gonna be glorious. All right. There's really not a whole lot else going on. I did find some video game news. We're going to bring Colin in for his segment here. I want to touch on this. I was kind of just searching the web, looking for something relevant as far as the video game news was concerned. Because I mean, everybody knows about Starfield, and it turns out Starfield's going to have an actual physical copy.
Yeah.
But those of us with Game Pass have already got it set up to pre-install. Good times.
I'm going to be driving over there just to play it on your system.
Right? There you go. But back in 2020, there was a reboot announced for a very beloved video game from my youth, at least, a Nintendo 64 classic, Perfect Dark. This game was so cutting edge that you had to buy the expansion pack for your N64 just to play it.
Yeah.
So, and then they came out with Perfect Dark Zero, which was kind of a ill-advised prequel, so to speak. I mean, I played it. It was one of the first titles that I played on the 360. It was okay. Then, of course, Nintendo partnered with Microsoft, of all people, decided to bring back the original Perfect Dark for both N64 and Xbox. And I was like, oh, yeah. So, I mean, that.
Did you do the whole, oh, yeah?
No, I did that with GoldenEye.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But then.
God, I miss GoldenEye.
Right? Dude, get you a Switch. It's on there.
I have a Switch. It's
If
on there?
Nintendo Online and you have the expansion pack for the Nintendo Online, you can play Perfect Dark.
I don't care about Perfect Dark. I want to play GoldenEye.
And GoldenEye. I'm sorry. You can play GoldenEye too.
That and Pilot Wings.
Pilot
GoldenEye?
Wings. I think Pilot Wings is on the Super Nintendo on the available for online play. You can play
Cruising USA racing game. That was,
I think, but definitely go do your Nintendo Online membership and then pay for like the extra for the expansion pack for the online service, and you can play. There's NES, there's Game Boy, there's Game Boy Advance titles, there's Super Nintendo, there's N64. There's even, I think there's, I want to say there's GameCube titles. No, there's not GameCube titles on there yet.
dude, I could play the Super NES Double Dragon.
I believe you can, yeah. And they also have some like Famicom titles.
Oh yeah.
So you can play some exclusive Japanese titles in there.
Dude, Double Dragon. Me and my buddy when I was growing up, man, we would crush Double Dragon. We would play
You know
that
what
shit.
game I missed from the original Nintendo was Ninja Gaiden 3.
Oh yeah.
It was hard though.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was Dark Souls before Dark Souls was a thing.
yeah.
It was. And then did you play the reboot of Ninja Gaiden on
The
Xbox?
original Xbox, dude.
That was a smasher, but good God, there
oh
was
god,
no way to beat that game.
no, it was I could never get the jumping down. Like the combat was hard, bleedingly hard. I could never figure out the timing on the jump. I'm not a puzzler. I don't do puzzling much, so it's the timing of trying to time
You're
those.
not a Tomb Raider fan.
Oh god, yeah, I so much wanted to try. I almost broke a computer playing even the first one that I ever tried. I think it was a demo. It wasn't even the full version. It was just a demo that came on some. You know, you
Yeah.
get like 200
Yeah,
demos
the
or
one
whatever.
that was on PlayStation was just an absolute nightmare to play.
Yeah,
Because the camera controls were everything.
yeah. Well, back then, the camera controls were a nightmare no matter what game you were playing.
Right.
It took a while. It wasn't until Halo before they really got the camera controls down right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So getting back to this article that I found, the Perfect Dark reboot, it was revealed at the Game Awards back in 2020. And they were like, everybody's all going crazy. And well, article dated today at probably just a little bit after 2 o'clock our time. Quote, there has been little meaningful progress made on the game. So the initiative, which is the pop-up studio that was made or that was created specifically to create this game, hasn't even figured out the cores or the game's core mechanic yet.
What the
Since then,
fuck?
they've hit a number of roadblocks, and they're citing, of all things, the pandemic, uncertain direction from management, and an inability to retain key talent, all playing a part in these struggles. The game's
Couldn't
former
they call up the actual original programmers?
yeah, dude, like turnover in the game in the game development industry is murderous, dude. I mean, it is bad.
Yeah.
Unless unless you have a budget for a triple A title, forget it, man. I mean, you're better off trying to develop something as an indie game, and you're going to get like a mountain of gameplay on Games with Gold or PlayStation Plus or Game Pass.
Yep.
Hell, I bought a game from I get mine from like Epic Gaming or Epic Games, and it's just a really stupid game to the point where all you it's like 3-bit or 8-bit
8-bit. There you go.
8-bit, and all you're doing is going around killing like supernatural creatures. It's like vampires or some shit like that.
Right. You want stupid game? Dude, this is nothing more than just an ASMR game for me, but power washer simulator.
Dude, that's one of those you just turn your brain off and you go. It's like lawn mowing simulator as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those you literally can just turn your brain off and not have to think for a little bit. You just get something. What I'll do is like I've done that with Farming Simulator. You just turn on. I have my playlist. I got Spotify linked into my PlayStation. I just turn that on and just let it go. You know, think it all, and those are great.
I mean, in Minecraft used to be that way for me, right?
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Not anymore.
You gotta think way too hard on that.
Not anymore, dude. I had to rage quit a little bit. Well, I had to step away from the game before I raged quit on it. I was mapping out a bunch of stuff because in order to get the new, like the new, like the new materials from the newest update, you have to either A, start over in your world, or B, explore until you unlock or until you open up chunks that have never been unlocked in the game before.
Wow.
So, like, if you've been playing in
You've
like,
unlocked most of that game, most of that map too.
dude, yeah, well, because it's an infinite map now. So, but you can just keep walking and keep walking and keep walking.
There's 60 million chunks.
Okay, 60 million chunks according to Colin. And if you've got like me, where you have people who play on your Realm server, they go fucking 5 directions to the wind, and they just walk forever before they find something that they think is cool enough, cool looking enough, and they're like, "Oh, this is where my home's going to be." And it's like, all right, first off, when I invite you to my Realm server, the idea is to camp with me so that way we can build a bunch of cool stuff and go to the Nether and beat the game as, I don't know,
A team.
a clan. Right. No, not my kids. Oh, no.
That'd be way too easy.
They're like, oh, your house looks cool, but I'm going to go live underground. And they live like 10,000 blocks away. I hate you in every fiber of your DNA. It's like,
Just remember, some of that DNA is still yours.
I know. And the ones that and the ones that I became a bonus dad to or a stepdad to, I'm like, I could say the same thing, but half their DNA is their mother, and yeah,
Just say
I love
that's
their mother.
So I finally,
it's kind of funny because like my 20-year-old kid, he's like he'll do something, and I get mildly to moderately to intensely irritated with him about it in game, and I'll just sit there and look at him and be like, "Yeah, you think that's funny? I fuck your mom." And he kind of looks at me and he's like, "You're right." I'm like,
damn right, I'm right. That's like the ultimate power move right there.
right?
no, the ultimate power move is what God, I can't remember what that comedian's name was. And he was talking, his grandmother was talking with like Yo Mama stuff, and his grandmother was like, sometimes right before I give y'all kisses before y'all go to bed, I suck y'all grandfather's dick. Y'all live with that.
Yeah,
That's
y'all live with that. Go with God.
because then you wonder, A, if it's true, and B, not only how many times it happened, but then you start wondering which ones it was. You start analyzing all the times that she's come in just a few minutes later than she usually would. And you start thinking, oh no.
I thought that was drool.
Then you're like,
Was she just eating yogurt?
why was she rubbing her jaw? But this Perfect Dark thing, Certain Affinity, which is the co-developer, they departed from the project in 2021. That also affected proceedings, obviously. He said, quote, "It's not that we didn't know what we wanted. It was that we kept making things that weren't what we wanted." One of the initiative developers told IGN, "We do it over and over again. The levels we had when I left weren't the same ones we had 3 months prior or 3 months prior to that. I don't know why people just keep hitting the reset button. It was definitely contributing to that feeling that we weren't making any progress. People just kept starting over." And I'm just like, I can identify with that. Because here's the thing. All right. So as a fan of the Halo series, when 343 Industries took over and they made, what was it? Halo 4. They made it so unnecessarily hard, right? It was like they were trying to out Bungie. And, because Bungie's big send-off was Halo Reach, which by far, hands down, my favorite of the entire franchise.
Right.
But, The thing with game developers, especially when you're doing a reboot or you're a new, you're a new title or a new studio coming in to take over an existing project, they fail to recognize that people just want you to leave well enough alone a lot of times. They don't want all the fancy new hotness, I mean, yeah, you can tweak with some of the game mechanics, maybe add a couple of new features, but don't completely revamp it. I mean, I understand that the idea of a reboot is to make it new again, but let's not remake the wheel. I mean, Perfect Dark was in essence perfect.
Yeah, you're still
And
leaving the bones alone, like the framework of it. You leave that alone.
yeah, I mean, it's like the Enterprise. When you went from the Enterprise original Constitution class to the refit Constitution 2, in essence, the Enterprise was still the original Enterprise because it still had the original feel. It just had all new plating and new decking and stuff like that. I mean, we could take, and it's a maritime thing where it's like if a ship is overhauled or refit and maintains the same keel as the original Lang, it's still the same ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take that premise and just move forward with it as far as game development is concerned. I mean, if you want to write a new story, fine, write a new story. But overall, the characters need to stay, need to have the same backstory. I mean, it's kind of like what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm going to reinvent the wheel here and change a couple of things, and ended up creating a whole new timeline that, while it's canon, there's a lot of people that don't recognize it as canon. I'm like, okay. I mean, I enjoy the movies, even though Into Darkness, I was kind of like, that's pure, unadulterated, lazy writing right there. But yeah.
Well,
if it's not broke, we don't have to fix it,
Junior said.
I mean, as long as we don't have a lava level, I can't remember who it was.
No,
there was a game designer. He came out, and it was during the San Diego Comic-Con, whenever San Diego Comic-Con was the Comic-Con to go to. They were like, yeah, I mean, if we get developers, not developers, we get programmers and designers, level designers come through our doors all the time. And any one of them that comes to us with a lava level design is instantly shown the door.
Or the water level from which Zelda was it?
Was it Ocarina of Time?
The water temple.
The water temple, yeah. Oh, God, I hated that thing. Like, you had to get the grapple or the super grapple shot.
Yeah.
just to get to where you didn't drown. I'm just like, oh God, it's so
well. Freddie
Jr.
said it best. Is like, it's just because it's not your childhood and it's for the new kids.
Yeah, but okay. So here's the thing, and I know what video you're talking about. He's talking about because he did a voiceover in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Legacy plays a lot into the more established franchises. Okay. You can't redo Star Trek. Okay. You shouldn't have to redo Star Wars. You can tell other stories aside or that occurred concurrently with the Star Wars or with the Skywalker saga and not reinvent the wheel.
Well, that's true.
But as far as established canon is concerned, leave it alone.
See, that's why the new Picard series did so well. I feel that's why it was so good.
It was, in its truest sense, it was a love letter. It was a love letter to the fan base.
You were continuing the story. You weren't trying to rewrite it.
Yeah,
exactly. And now we've got the Enterprise G. And as soon as the writers get their, the writers and whoever they answer to get their heads pulled out of their fourth point of contacts and end this strike, hopefully it's not too late. And Paramount Plus will still greenlight the Legacy series that hundreds of thousands of signatures are on this petition now. And there's still a lot of Star Trek fan pages out there that are still circulating this petition, and it's still gathering more and more signatures because they want a legacy series that has Captain Seven of Nine and the Enterprise G. We want to see that story be told.
Yes.
You know, with Jack Crusher and Q making his appearances. You know, I want to see that.
Yeah. I still think
you know,
it's
and I think go ahead, David.
I still think it's kind of funny that the end of Picard, you get to see Q and how he's gonna fuck things over again.
Right. Yeah. You know, and what I would love to see more than anything else, because if you pay attention to the Ships of the Line stories about the lineage of the Enterprise through all of its iterations, B didn't last too long. C really didn't last long because it was destroyed at the Battle of Kittimer. Then you had the Enterprise D, which ultimately met it. It met its first fate on Viridian 3, and then it made its comeback. And it's not actually truly the Enterprise, because if you remember, the saucer section was recovered from Viridian 3, and they used a donated star drive from the Saratoga.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's basically a Frankenstein ship. But and then E, which was not Worf's fault, met its demise.
Not his fault.
It's not his fault. And then for whatever reason, the Enterprise F, I mean, it was originally conceptualized and brought onto the screen in Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
And Terry Matalas decided to canonize it by giving it screen time in Picard. Now, we only saw the Enterprise F for all of about maybe, 5 minutes? And it was being decommissioned. Now, that was not a Galaxy-class starship like the Enterprise D was. It is a Universe-class starship. Now, if you get the size comparisons, this thing is massive, right? But according to canon, it was being decommissioned because of computer glitches and viruses, like catastrophic computer failures, right? So, but I would like to see the F, or not the F, but the G, live longer than most of its predecessors.
Whatever happened to what was the USS Enterprise Universal class?
The Universe class was the F.
Was it?
Yeah, so you get the scene in Picard where the starbase is there, and you get all the
No.
scientific
The one that was in like Enterprise, the TV show, because they did like a really quick blip.
Oh, you're talking about Scott Bakula with the NX-01?
Yeah.
Had we gotten to season 3, we would have seen the Enterprise NX-01 refit, where they would have had an actual true secondary hull. The warp cells would have looked the same. Actually, the warp cells would have been updated to the more classical original series warp nacelles, but we would have gotten an actual navigational deflector mounted on the front of a true secondary hull. But because they canceled the show after 2 seasons, which I still think was a bad move, because they had so many more stories to tell. But if you look at the Fleet Museum at Atheum Prime in season 3 of Picard, you can stop the frames, you can freeze the frames. The NX-01 refit is there at the Fleet Museum.
So they still put it in its canon.
Yes, I mean, no, it's still, it's canon. Yeah, I mean, it was canon the minute that they aired the pilot, and it was cemented in canon the second that William Riker said computer end program. Which to me was like the writers from the old TV series Dallas decided to come back and give their, take out their revenge on TV viewers everywhere. But
I don't think it was TV viewers. I think it was just
TV executives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But had we gotten to season 3 of Enterprise, we would have seen the NX-01 refit on the screen. But Terry Matalas recognized that. He went into the conceptual drawings uh, for what would have been season 3, and he did the fans of Star Trek a solid by canonizing the refit. And as a matter of fact, I'm trying to track down a kit for the NX-01 that you can do it one of both ways. You can do the original NX-01 or you can do the NX-01 refit. And I think if I can find that kit, I'm gonna build the refit.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean dude, it looks cool. I mean, I kind of nerded out about it a little bit, but I mean, so speaking of Enterprise, so they brought out and sort of kind of canonized the Enterprise J, which supposedly exists in the 32nd century. It looked like a glorified pizza cutter, right?
Yeah.
There are so many people that like so many fans, and we're talking hundreds of thousands that just don't like that version, that Enterprise. Because the way that the timelines are breaking down now, in order to get to the J, the Enterprise lineage is going to have to, I mean, any ship named Enterprise from here on out is going to have to live a very short life to get to that point. And I would like to see the J retconned, or at least if it's going to remain canon, I want to see it remain canon in an alternate timeline, kind of a situation.
I think Thursday, that's where they're going with the timeline on
Bringing it to the Kelvin timeline.
brand new.
Well, maybe not so much the Kelvin timeline, but maybe kind of like its own timeline, like a temporal timeline. Because they were talking about the temporal Cold Wars and everything like that. And I think Discovery tried to touch on it during season 5. I don't know. I'd assume not give Discovery the time of day right now. But, like Trek is Trek, and you get all these woke Trek fans that are like, yeah, well, Star Trek's always been woke. Yeah, but it went about it a whole different way, as opposed to the way they do it now. Anyways, what's the word I'm looking for?
Going away
wait, I digress. Yeah. But so before we land this plane, I think we are going to bring Colin in for his weekly segment. But before we get there, obviously the news, the Ocean Gate Titan imploded. The Navy knew about it the day it imploded, decided to wait and tell everybody, which I thought was a classy move. But TikTok and the internet did not fail. I mean, they absolutely ignited on fire when they found the debris, right?
Yeah.
But they got to the point where I'm like, man, I got a little sick and tired of the Titanic submarine jokes. I mean, people surprisingly can sink to really low levels.
God.
I mean, it's one thing.
The of being mature about this is crushing.
It is crushing. I mean, and on top of that, it's like you think about those 5 people that got into that sub, including that 18-year-old,
19,
who was just there to have a Father Days thing with his dad. They get in the sub, hoping to go see the Titanic, and boom, they end up at a Kobe Bryant game.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's how they combine the DNA. Or,
I mean, well, the fact is that they're not going to have. They're not going to have any bodies to bury. There's no bodies to recover.
No, there's nothing.
Because when that sub imploded, I mean, they liquefied because the air that was in that capsule compressed at supersonic speeds, and the concussion and the increase in temperature alone liquefied all 5 of those people. But I will be damned if that Logitech controller did not stay intact and ended up on the floor of the ocean, 1,600 meters away from the wreckage of the Titanic.
And that was a $30 controller too. Like that right there.
$30 PS3 controller.
Everybody keeps talking shit about it. It was some off brand. It's like, no, listen, that's Logitech makes good shit.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely showing this. You know, it's never going to happen. But if I were an advertising executive, I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna kiss the shit out of this.
Yeah, some advertising executive who's staring down the barrel of a golden parachute is like, fuck it, this is happening. And he throws it out there on the Twitter account, on their Facebook account. He puts it out on Reddit, and it will live forever.
I'm telling you now, though, like you there is a lot of people, of course, all the woke, eternally offended are going to blow up and they're going to cry about it and everything. But there are a lot of people out there that would eat that up 100%. Their sales would increase, I guarantee you, just because all the people that were making the memes are going to be the ones that are buying them.
Right. Here's your $1 million tagline for free, Logitech. Okay. All I ask is that you send me one. For those days when you feel like raging and you break a controller, we've got the line just for you. They show a picture of the controller at the bottom of the ocean, and they dub it the Titan Series controller.
Yes. The Titanic wrap comes optional.
Somebody's going to make a rap for it, and they're going to print it. It's going to be some third party, and then they're going to get a cease and desist letter from the company that owns the wreckage now.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Fools though, man. I'm telling you, it's a money mint, man. He'd be printing money.
Yeah.
It's a cash cow.
I'm telling you.
But this is
Titan Series Logitech controller.
I can see the commercial now. It's like, he can't quite get the sub in the right position and everything, and he just rage quits, and he throws a controller, and it hits that screen, and you see the crack, and that's what causes the implosion. But it just has the crack, and you turn around, and everybody just kind of looks at each other, and then
right. Yeah,
but that's how strong the controller is. Like that's and then
almost Nokia strong.
And then bring it back up, so you recover it from the bottom, you put it back in, and it still works fine.
That slovenly, stained wife beater wearing dude that's got his beard looks like a map of South America. He's all sweaty, and he's got a fucking Cheeto hanging under, hiding under his moob, right? and he's online gaming, right? And he's like sweating profusely, and he has to take his headphones off because he can't stand the talk, the shit talk in the chat room. Yeah. Can't take the pressure. Boom. And then just flash the controller.
Oh my God.
You may not, but your controller can.
Yeah. Can you stand the pressure? Well, your controller can.
Yes.
All right. So let's get this started here. All right. So this week's installment of Joke Time with Colin is brought to you by our gracious sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. Jeez, I cannot talk today. It's the pressure, dude. It's getting to me.
I got a controller for that.
Right? Where? I don't have one. Oh my God.
Oh God!
All I got are my Turtle Beaches, man. That's what it says. She does wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certifications of trust, assignments of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and I-9 verifications. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's bonded and E&O insured. She's on every social media platform. So look her up, Mobile Notary Mindy, and hit her up if you need anything notarized. She does. She is offering remote online notarizations through her commission. So just keep her in mind. And with that being said, and due diligence being done, here we go. Where once there was light, now soul and body crushing darkness, rising out of the silty bottom of the ocean like a Logitech controller.
Love it.
Comes to you for your eyes and your ears to partake, bask in, and enjoy. My genetic code. Up, down, BA, left, right, BA, left, right, BA, start. I present to you your weekly your weekly dose of morality don't. It's joke time with Colin. Okay, all right, here you go. Get in, get in.
I only got
Get-
one
get-
joke now.
Well, you gotta. You can come up with something. Yeah, hey, you're out of the shot. Look, see this. This is how we do this.
No,
Okay.
cameras work.
Okay, well, show me.
Why did Bari divorce Ken? Because the box he came in wasn't hers.
Oh,
Wow.
was that a $200,000 joke?
Oh,
Come on, man.
not my fault. You stole my joke.
I didn't even know it was in your bit, dude. I'm sorry.
I told you I was gonna tell that joke.
Well, tell another joke. Come on, man.
Fine.
Hey, Johnny, there's been enough father-son crushing this week. Don't need another one.
And not the
You're
Alabama kind either.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's not like my daughter lives here, so I can take her on a helicopter ride with me anywhere.
Oh man.
Fuck.
So a guy is walking with a young boy into the woods. The boy says, "Hey, mister, it's getting dark out here and I'm scared." The man says, "How do you think I feel? I have to walk back alone."
Damn.
Okay, so the way that this joke that I'm going to tell, the way that it originally was written was, it takes place in Montana, but because I know Mr. Jacka is from Montana, I'm going to change it to Wyoming.
Thank you, sir.
You good with that? Wyoming?
I am good with that.
Here we go. So a father and son, they're ranchers. They live in Wyoming, and they've been out putting up fence all day. And it's getting toward the end of the day. The sun's going down, and father said, "All right, let's knock off for the day. Let's get in the truck and drive home. Mom's going to have dinner waiting for us." You're going to like this joke. Hold on. So they're driving. Dad looks down the road, and he sees a sheep. It's got its head stuck in the barbed wire fence. The dad pulls the truck over, and he's like, "Damn it." He gets out, and he goes over to the sheep, and then he just pulls his pants down and starts fucking the sheep. He's just going to town. The kid gets out of the truck and walks over to his dad, and he's like, "Dad, I thought you were going to help the sheep." And he goes, "Well, I am. Do you want to help?" And he goes, "Do you want to try it?" And he goes, "Well, I mean, sure, but do I have to stick my head in the fence too?"
God damn.
Mm-hmm. That sheep, I knew exactly where it was going to go. It's really more of a North Dakota thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do guys from North Dakota say when they come home on leave?
What?
Mom, Dad.
Oh, mentioning funny story. So I'm lucky enough that I have reviewed a lot
A
of these.
funny story? So you're going to tell us a deer?
Anyways, I didn't even get most of that joke only because he's stealing me out. So
All right, go ahead, David.
so I was watching a lot of documentaries about fighting vampires and everything. And
Oh,
good
what
thing
documentary?
is, good thing
A
because
A
documentary.
documentary.
A documentary.
documentary.
Is it like Doc Martin?
Yes.
Documentary.
Anyways, we might have to fight vampires, mainly me. We have a vampire of
Anyways, go
Dusseldorf.
ahead.
The vampire of Dusseldorf might be coming after us. So I'm set.
Or Dusseldorf.
Yeah, okay. Peter Kirchen. If you read I don't think I sent it to you. I think I just blanked out. I sent it to Johnny. Johnny knew what to go to.
Comments. No, you sent me a voicemail. Yeah, to go to on our YouTube page and go to the video where he talks about him.
Yeah.
And this guy with a screen name, he's like,
Wait, is that the link that you sent me?
Yes.
You sent me a YouTube link, and I haven't been able to go and watch it
Well,
yet.
I
yeah,
think
no, go in and read the comments because the guy is like, take this video about me down.
About me?
I'm just like, the guy is pretending to be the subject of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Okay, so let's go ahead and land this plane, and with that due diligence, do the proper outro for Joke Time with Colin this week. So, descending into the depths yet once again in a regulated, approved submersible, guaranteed not to crush, dent, scratch, or implode. Only to be called upon when the time is needed, much like Godzilla and King Kong, I guess at this point. It's the whole MonsterVerse thing. Anyways, I digress. You have been privy. You have been subjected to, albeit unwillingly, to another installment of Joke Time with Colin. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angry faithful of all ages, and even those of us who, well, those of you, looking at you, David, who are intrigued by the thought of owning a jigsaw inspired sex doll.
I'm telling you, he's getting that tattooed
on this plane
this weekend. He is gonna go get his nipples tattooed
with the twisty nipples and everything.
Absolutely.
Fuck.
The curly, like he takes his shirt off. He takes off his shirt and he's like, "Look into my eyes."
Oh, yeah.
And his nipples are going to be just far enough.
Well, he's
retarded.
See, he's gonna have the little brackets put on so he can have clip-on tassels put. It's quicker that way.
Why wouldn't you do that?
He's gonna make them magnetic.
Yes, subdermal is the way to go. Yeah, subdermal is the way to go.
Okay.
Magnetic, man. I'm telling you. Easy on, easy off.
My brain is working so fucked up right now because I thought in my head he meant like have it surgically have magnets inserted in my
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my god.
You just have the magnetic you have the magnetic tassels, they just plop right there, and then you do your thing, and then you could just plop right there.
Well, that still hurt. You're still on skin and everything.
No, because you're not putting pressure on the nipples by clipping them on.
Exactly.
You're not irritating the skin by putting adhesive.
Exactly.
So this way, once the scars are healed, once the skin is healed, and the incisions are all nice and good, you can grow your chest hair back, and you won't have to like accidentally clip your nipples with the razor just to put your pasties on.
Right, exactly, and then you're not having to worry the adhesive is
Too
going
much
to pull on your hair at all.
Too much
You can
thought
have a
into this.
wide range of magnetic tassels that are there. You don't have to stay with just one kind because of the clamp. Like, it's come on, man. You can put all kinds of stuff on there.
Going to the
You
fridge,
make a beer holder for all.
Hold on, going to the fridge would be a challenge.
Just don't make them Ferris magnets,
Yeah,
because then you start drawing all the iron out of your blood.
yeah, that might be interesting, but
Well, hell, I was thinking going to the refrigerator would be a challenge. And
why are you rubbing your nipples
I
on the
mean,
fridge?
you saw how that happened. You know how that worked. But you saw how that worked out for the, for the prison guard in the X-Men movies. Just iron being drawn out of your body like that. It didn't bode well.
Well, he did have a massive injection.
Guys, my dinner's ready. Right. Yeah. So, my dinner's ready. So let's go ahead and land this plane, guys.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you're doing out there. This is Nerd Sports 114. Even though this episode we pretty much went on the nerd scale because we really didn't have any sports scale. Thank you all.
Well, I mean, it's in the name. Yeah. And if you're driving while you're listening and you have to laugh to the point where you feel like you need to pee, pull over. We care about you and your well-being. The rest of you can just get fucked.
Unless it's scratch guarded.
Well, I am David Dickerman.
I am Chris Jacka.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
Thank you all for listening. Goodbye.
Later.
And if you have leather seats and you don't have them scotch coated, Chemical Guys makes a great leather cleaner.
Ching.